Take Care of Your Body by Rye with your host, Rylin Rosano. Always just be a little kinder than necessary. Stay tuned in to see what's next.
I hope you're smiling because it's me, Rye. Stay tuned for an amazing episode with an incredible young girl who inspires me and I know will inspire so many. Thank you so much for listening. Hi, Sadie.
Hi.
So, do you have a story you want to tell to anyone listening? Who's Sadie?
It's a girl, which is me, that has dwarfism and is always teased and called names on.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's really sad and heartbreaking. What's it like for you in school?
People tease me, they bully me, they call me names, and they laugh at me.
I'm so sorry to hear that. How does that make you feel?
Really bad.
And what do anyone at school, like the counselors or the teachers, do about this?
The counselors always bring them in, and then they talk to them, and sometimes a few days later they still do it.
That is so mean and disrespectful. So it's like they take the warning and then they just continue on with the same behavior.
Yeah.
So what is one thing you want everyone listening to know or to be able to know about you?
If you're bullied, tell it to a grown-up, or tell them stop it.
Absolutely, and I think everyone should just be kind.
Yeah.
Today I'm with two special guests. Do you guys want to introduce yourself?
I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Sadie.
Hi guys, thank you so much for being here and talking a little bit about your story and your journey. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to ask you a few questions today. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
Okay. So, Jenn, I talked to Sadie a little bit earlier, and she talked on her story a little bit from her perspective, and she did an amazing job, and I'm so proud of her, and she's just the sweetest. So I want to hear it from your perspective. So can you speak a little bit on the emotional journey of raising a daughter with achondroplasia and the challenges you've faced as a mother, advocating for her inclusion and acceptance in society?
Okay, so the emotional part is it gets very emotional sometimes, but only really when I see that she's upset or she's hurt. And then I do get emotional sometimes because as hard as it is to not compare your own child to other children, I catch myself doing that. And it's like not upsetting in a bad way, just like what could have been if she didn't have achondroplasia. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, other 10-year-olds and things like that. So I do, but not as often or as much as people would think. Like it's like a blue moon kind of thing. So that's really the only emotional part of raising her. I mean, I'm a mom of a girl, so of course it's going to be like, you know, my challenges and things like that anyway.
She's amazing, so you're doing a great job.
So advocating for her, though, the challenges as a mother for advocating her, right now it's just teaching her to advocate for herself. So in school I've advocated for her, but Sadie just needs very minimum things. Stools, really just stools and back supports. Soap dispensers need to be moved, which has been very hard in our school to have them moved, but they do eventually get moved. Or they'll buy their own. The teacher will buy their own. Let me think. I'm trying to think. I think that's really it school-wise. I'm just, like I said, so going back to teaching her to advocate.
Yes.
So I'm trying to teach her to advocate because she is 10. I'm not going to always be there for her, like in school-related situations, to be behind her saying, like, hey, you know, it's okay, tell them that you have dwarfism and your bones grow slowly. Like, we have like a script kind of that we've been instilling in her since she was 5, kindergarten, where if people make fun of her, we just tell her to tell them, you know, I'm 5 years old, I have dwarfism, my bones grow slowly. Like, that's it. Now she's older, so she can, you know, expand on that, but that was like a quick, easy 5-year-old kind of version. So really it's just that, and it's hard for her, you know, because she is shy sometimes, but I think we're going to get there eventually with her confidence and telling people why, you know, she's smaller than average 10-year-olds.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, and she's truly amazing. I'm so honored to know her, and to know you. You guys are just both amazing people.
You're amazing.
I'm gonna cry more. I'm a little teary, but so how have like society's attitude towards like dwarfism impact your family dynamic, and what steps have you taken to create a supportive environment for Sadie?
So society towards achondroplasia. Well, I think because there's TV shows out there now, it's more, I don't want to say they're more accepting, because of course she's different, you know, stature-wise and things like that, and I just feel like society with anybody that's different, physical differences or, you know, mental differences, anything, I don't think we're a long way from accepting or including everybody. But, I mean, society so far, we haven't come across things. Now, if people are staring at her, I don't know, because I don't really watch for that.
Right,
yeah.
you can't read minds.
And I can't read minds, and if they are, I kind of like, you know, I go into a shopping area, I focus on my children to make sure that they don't get lost and what I need to shop for. So if people are staring at her, I haven't really noticed yet. But again, as she gets older, it may happen more often, because right now she's 10, she does look like a little kid. You know, maybe they think she's a lot younger, but we really haven't. Have we gotten any stares? Not really. In like grocery store, I'm thinking like outside, not really. She's bumped into like kids like today at the place, kids saying that like, you're not 10, like questioning her in a way, like you're more like 6 or more like 4, and it's kids against kids. So again, it goes back to education.
Absolutely.
Her educating and advocating for herself to teach them, but it's also their parents. Their parents don't know.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't know who their parents are. They're strangers, but I know. So if I knew their parents were around, then I would advocate for them. But so steps in taking to create a supportive environment. I think Sadie feels comfortable talking to me about things.
I love that.
I feel like she has adults out there, like you. Aww, could be one of her comfortable adults.
And I'm gonna cry. Cry more.
I know in school she has a counselor, and she's really close to the counselor at school. So, you know, anything that bothers her or if she gets emotional at school, she has someone to go talk to. So I feel like, I hope that she knows that she can come talk to me, or even her dad or her grandma, like people that she's around all the time. I hope she knows that she can come and there's like really no judgment, and we're gonna work out the problem together.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you for sharing that, and I love that so much, and I think it's all about learning and just accepting, and I wish kids could just be kind. Like, that's all I wish for the world, more kindness.
Yeah.
Just why comment on something you have no idea about?
Exactly. Like, instead of, you know, asking questions like, well, if you're 10, then why are you small? Instead of still like going with it, like, well, no, you look more like you're 6 or 4. You know, instead of just asking. But again, it goes back to parents.
Absolutely.
Because, you know, these children are probably around her age or younger, or even older. So, you know, it's just being exposed and having parents teach their children to be kind.
Absolutely. So in what ways have you worked to empower Sadie and instill a sense of confidence in her identity and abilities despite these external pressures and many stereotypes out there? I know you mentioned that a little bit, if you want to touch on it a little bit more.
So we instill in her that she can do anything. Ever since she was little. Anything that an average height child can do, Sadie can do. So she plays piano, she's done t-ball, she's done different kinds of dancing. She's in Girl Scouts right now. She does martial arts. She can ride a 2-wheel bike. She can scooter in 2 wheels. She can, what else? Like anything. She plays soccer. She did bocce ball, which is kind of easy. Boring, I guess. She can swim. I mean, like, I'm trying to think of everything you've done so far in your life other than walking and running around. But, so we make sure that Sadie knows that she can do anything. Even if she tries and fails, at least she tried it.
Absolutely.
And we can make accommodations for her if we can make those accommodations and things like that. We just want her to be confident in what she does, and I feel like that's, what happened? Oh, robotics. You did robotics in school. Yeah, that's right.
So cool. You
That's
should
right.
teach me robotics.
So I'm hoping, I really don't know if I'm empowering her yet. I feel like when she gets older, maybe I'll see it more, or she'll come back one day and be like, Mom, you're the best mom ever. And like, but I'm hoping I'm empowering her, and giving her that confidence that she can try anything. I never make her do anything she doesn't want to do. I mean, I will encourage her to do it, like ziplining today, but she just, that fear takes over, and that's anybody, really.
No, absolutely.
So maybe one day she'll overcome that fear, and we try to instill that in her too, is like, if you don't know until you try.
Yeah.
And it's okay to be scared, because mommy's scared, sometimes too. So, yeah.
Yeah,
I
definitely know, like, she looks up to you, because I saw this thing the other day, and I gotta send it to you. It's like this little stuffed mouse, and it's like we all have someone to look up to, and the stuffed mouse looked up to the girl that it had, and then the girl looked up to her sister, and then the sister looked up to the mom. Aww. So I know that Sadie definitely looks up to you. So, is there anything else you want to add to that question?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We just know, Sadie she knows, and I know she knows, because she's a preteen right now, but I know she knows that she is super unique and super special, and that she does have hard times, where she wishes she wasn't this way, and why she questions it, but we always instill in her that this is the way that God made you, and that she has a bigger purpose in life, and we just don't know what it is yet, but she's here to teach people, or whatever it may be.
Yep.
But we tell her that, her dad and I do not wish any different on her. We feel blessed to have her as our child. And sometimes she does hate being little. Yeah, and she'll voice that. And, we'll cry together if we have to cry together. But we just tell her it's normal to do that. Like, Mommy may have been hated that she looked different than her friends.
Yeah.
But
people bullied you for having an accent.
Yeah. People bullied me for wearing glasses when I was younger. People bullied me because I had a New York accent. And even though they were New Yorkers
right,
too.
Right.
But, and I changed that, and do I regret, hiding that and changing it? Yeah, I do. So I don't want her to change who she is personality-wise.
I love that.
Because, you're special in your own way. Everybody is different. Everybody is unique. Everyone's special.
Yeah.
It's like almost like everyone is crazy, and it's okay to be crazy.
It is okay to be crazy.
Because if everybody was not crazy, it would be really boring.
It would be really boring, and I think our differences make us beautiful. And
yes.
I think that's special to think about it like that.
Connor is way crazy.
So the next question I have is, what advice do you have for parents of children with dwarfism or other disabilities on fostering a strong sense of self-worth and resilience?
So my advice would, let your child guide you. Let them kind of tell you what they can do and what they can't do, kind of thing. Don't hold them back at all. I just had something I forgot now. Like independence. Like we try to make Sadie very independent. So that would be, if there's a child with dwarfism, like for advice, I would say like let them be as independent, like in stages.
Yeah.
That they can be. So Sadie's 10. So right now we're doing dishes. And we're at least rinsing them off and putting them in the dishwasher and helping take them out of the dishwasher, things like that. Folding clothes and laundry. Soon she'll be eventually doing laundry. Now, what is it? An accommodation, I guess you can call it for her, would be, we have front loader washers and dryers. And it's for Sadie's sake because she cannot climb on something and reach down all the way down to
dangerous.
a top loader. Not. So things like that. But there's stools around our house and things like that. So my advice would be just let them guide you, kind of, and see how independent they can be. Because Sadie, when she started moving and grooving as a baby, like, she never crawled as an average height baby would crawl on her hands and feet, or hands and knees, but she would army crawl, and, like, she was on the go. Yeah. And we just kind of let her explore and do her thing. So that would be my advice, is just kind of watch them and see, like, how far you can kind of push them before, they reach the limit. But they'll tell you.
Yeah.
They'll tell you. Yes, you crawled,
Sadie's giving us a little bit of a demonstration here of how she crawled.
The upside down bulldozer or something? I forget what it was called, but yeah, she would crawl like in a, like a bridge, like gymnastics.
Like a little yoga thing.
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
that. You know what? We're going to have to do yoga classes now. With yoga with Rye. I love that so much.
Yeah.
Right. So the next question I have is, how do you envision a more inclusive and accepting future for individuals with dwarfism, and what steps do you believe are necessary to make this a reality?
Oh boy. Okay.
That's a mouthful. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So first of all, it would be like just basic society things, which I know will take forever to do, is just, you know, acceptance of all people, you know, and not staring.
Yeah.
She is a human being like everyone else, kind of thing. But it's just little things that I advocate for in places, and my husband gets embarrassed over it. But like Target, for example, I believe not all Targets, but most Targets have like the kids stool in the bathrooms.
Yeah.
You know, that close up and then you step on it, it opens down. I don't know, like that's a good
no, that's a good example
or description of it. But I feel like if Target has it, then why doesn't everybody else have that?
Exactly.
Like there's a local children's museum that you would think would have something like that to reach the sinks, or a lower sink. I've seen lower sinks in Walmart.
I've seen those.
But like a children's museum, it blows my mind that a children's museum doesn't have lower sinks or stools for children.
Right.
You know, so I would start like in society like that small. Like I'm saying, just getting businesses to recognize things like that. You know, especially like my biggest thing is
it's
museum.
like there's like multiple different kids are going to be in there with different
Exactly.
things, and wheelchairs, like Sadie, or like with dwarfism, or like with other, like, you know, own needs.
Yeah, and that's all I'm like advocating for. There's places where we've paid for her to go kart racing.
Yeah.
And like they'll let her on, like she was ready to go, she had the helmet and everything, and then they're like, oh no, she can't reach when she could reach. But my thing is, okay, well, you don't have a height requirement, or she met the height requirement, I forget what it was. But then I got upset, so my daughter's crying because she was on it and then they took them off. So I made a big stink of it with the manager and things like that, and they credited us. But the thing is, like, have pedal extenders for kids. You know, like, just because she's, let's just say, 40 inches tall, she's 10 years old. Right. You know, she has the mind of a 10-year-old.
She wants to do fun things.
And she wants to do fun things, exactly. Like,
she should be able to do them, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was on, like, not the big go-kart. She was on, like, the kiddie side. So it wasn't, like... Because I understand sometimes with Disney, like... Yeah. We question that. Like, okay, let's try to sneak her on to rides.
Get a hat or something.
But then when you think about it, okay, well, there's a height requirement for a reason.
Yeah.
You know,
no.
No.
You know
what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was actually going to mention that. Like, have you experienced any, like, thing like that at Disney?
Yeah, so we went on, we always check and make sure to see what rides she can go on and what new rides she can go on since she does grow.
Yes.
But there was one, I forget which one, it's in the Star Wars area, that her dad really wanted to go on and promised her to go on. And when she went, she was wearing a hat, and we kind of had her, like, kind of standing up a little taller. Aww. But they made her make off the hat, and she was like, I mean... not even an inch. It was like maybe a half an inch shorter. Like it was like she was right there, and they told her no. So she was upset and heartbroken and was, you know, crying about it. So we've run into those kind of situations. But again, I always think, okay, well, there is a reason. Yep. Like I'll advocate for her for certain things, like the go-kart thing. She was on the kiddie one. Like she would have been fine. You know, they didn't go that fast and things like that. Yeah. But like Disney, I always think, and like Universal's one, she was dying to go to Universal. So I think right now she may be able to go on certain rides there, but we're waiting until she's a little older and a little taller so that she can experience it more, because I don't want to spend all that money. Yeah. If she can't go on rides that she wants to go on. Right. You know what I'm saying?
I have a waist of an average height 10-year-old.
You do have, yes. Your core, your trunk. That is so, aww. Is the, so when she sits up, sits with other average height 10-year-olds, and she looks like she's an average height 10-year-old. It's just her legs.
And the kids that are younger than me, I'm taller than them. We're nicer to them.
Yeah. So that's the other thing too. So when she's standing there, she may not reach it. Yeah. But when she sits, she's sitting like a 10-year-old, like an average height 10-year-old. So that's also like where I'm kind of like, well, I understand there's a height requirement, but when she sits, she's the height of kind of thing. So
it's kind of like yeah.
But I think that way for like society, I think it's just that it's just, you know, her future we don't really do anything in our house, wise. We just have stools, and we just teach her that she's going to need stools and things like that.
Yeah.
In real life, because I know some people that have dwarfism lower their cabinets and things like that, like make a smaller kitchen to fit them, which is great if you're never going to move,
right?
You know, kind of.
Yeah,
thing.
no.
But that also costs a lot of money and things like that. With her, she lives in an average height world, so we try to make it where it's
realistic
for her.
Every year I go to the conferences.
Oh, do you want to touch on the conferences for everyone listening?
Yeah.
Okay, come here, so we can hear you. Okay, go on.
It's a fun place. There's a national and a regional one. And which one's the last days?
The summer one is a national conference.
That's
The
cool.
national conferences are really fun. There's fashion shows, talent shows, sports, dance parties.
Dances every night, banquets.
Oh, that's fun.
Dinners, and then just hanging out with friends.
What's your favorite part about the conferences?
Hanging out with friends.
Hanging out with your friends?
Yeah.
Because you have a lot of friends, but they live in other states or even countries, right? We haven't made any friends with other people in other countries.
Nora.
But you have
Olivia. Callan.
Those are all Florida people. Yes.
Aww.
But you have friends that live in Kansas City, right? Maryland. You have friends, and the only time you ever get to see them is in the summer.
National.
At the nationals.
But
That is
the
so cool.
Regional ones are like close to Florida.
Regionals are just in Florida.
Aw.
Like
okay.
last year we went to Orlando, and last year for the national one we went to Austin, Texas.
Yep.
Aw, that's so fun.
I want to go to Europe to go to England.
If you go to Europe, I'm coming with you.
They don't have a conference in Europe. We'll have to just do that as a vacation.
You can sneak me on the plane. I'm coming because I want to go to Europe, but
We're
should.
English.
Oh yes. Oh, you are? That's so cool. I didn't know that. They should have a conference in Europe. I think that should be a thing. So what is one thing you want everyone listening to know about dwarfism?
Just that they're people, and even though they look physically different, they shouldn't be treated any different than anyone else. You know, if you see someone out in the world, in society, that has dwarfism, that just go up to them and ask them. I mean, a lot of them are very open to talking and things like that, and just ask them, like, you know, do you have dwarfism? Can you tell me something? Like, you know,
Yeah.
instead of just staring at them
Start
and
a
pointing.
convo. Yeah.
I've had friends that kids have pointed, and the parents just kind of, don't point.
Oh.
Instead of just asking, like,
Yeah.
oh yes, or telling the parent, oh yes, you know, they're smaller, let's go ask them why, kind of thing. I would say that. What else?
I met famous people.
Oh, you met famous people?
Squirrel.
Wait, what? Who did you meet?
Who did you meet?
Mr. Montingsco.
Mr.
Tingsco.
Yeah, the teacher
And,
on TikTok.
What's the other guy's name from Willow?
Warwick Davis.
I met Warwick Davis
that's
when I
cool.
was just a baby.
Aww.
My daddy shook hands with him.
You've met, I can't think of their names right now, but there's famous pianists that you met last year too.
I met the Seven Little Johnsons.
The Seven Little Johnsons from TLC.
Were they nice?
Yes.
Yes.
I was playing with them in the hallway for tag.
Aww.
So I think that's really it. You know, just don't point.
No, absolutely.
Ask questions. You know, education is the most
No
important
whispering.
thing. No
Absolutely.
whispering. What else is important?
Include them, I think.
Include them, yeah.
Right, just because someone's
Just get to
different
know them.
doesn't mean
Don't
you can't
call
be friends
them
with them.
names.
I
Don't
think
call them names, yeah.
exactly, don't call them names. We all have
Don't
our
tease
differences,
them,
and it's
because
like,
I have a
just be
friend
nice.
that takes my stuff and puts it up in the air
what?
Yeah.
That's,
where
no,
I
no, no.
can't reach, and I tell
No.
her to give it back, and she won't give it.
Aw. Yeah, just be kind. We all have something.
Exactly.
You never know what someone's going through or we all have something that, you know, even people can't see, or you just never know. So just be kind.
Yep.
Be kind.
Agree.
Well, thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
talking, and I'm going to have you guys on for another episode, because
Of course, yes.
you guys are fun, and I just love you both, and you're a great advocate, Jen, and like a mom, you're a great mom,
thank you.
and like
Don't make me cry now.
I know Sadie looks up to you so much, and I can tell that she is going to grow into an amazing woman, and she's already such an amazing little girl who inspires me. And she's 10, and I'm not 10, but I want to be 10, but she just impacts me every day, and I just, like, I see Sadie, and I'm like, wow, I can do anything. She's amazing. So.
Yeah.
Thank you for...
She is pretty amazing.
Thank you for being my friend, Sadie. You're such a sweet girl.
Aw.
Oh, well, thank you so much for listening, and as always, with love, Rye.